Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. Okay, dare I say Megyn Kelly might be the least bit jealous of Rachel Maddow?
A little?
Speaking of jealousy for powerful women. This is so
weird.
Petty.
Yeah. Dana, you and, Jody and friends, all of us, we're like in a real sisterhood where we support other women. You know, Megyn Kelly's just so, like, obviously jealous, right? So she gloated that Rachel Maddow's purported exclusive first interview with E.G. and Carol fell apart, complained that Maddow gets paid $30 million for one show a week. Okay, well, if you're as good as she is, you might.
Right, she negotiated that, and her employer agreed, so that's a great deal.
Oh, this doesn't surprise me at all. In a segment with Glenn Greenwald,
Oh, boy.
Of course.
Kelly taunted Maddow over the non-exclusive exclusive, trashed the quality of her interview with Carol and Kaplan, which was fantastic. And it accused her of lying during Trump's entire term in office, which I swear to God, this false equivalence, but they try to make between her and, say, Hannity. It's like, no. When Rachel makes a mistake, she corrects it. Yes. She is a journalist. You know, anyway. Yeah, but anyway, so she said blah, 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 blah. Where did she say? Oh, she said when she was talking about how much Trump lies, she said, no self-awareness, the ability to lie with impunity without any tell, it's a superpower. Yes, and you have it, madam. You exercised it for 4 years when he was in the White House. Give me some examples of what Rachel lied about.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they can't.
I can't. That's why there's nothing to say. Also, Megyn Kelly, didn't she get paid like $60 million for 2 specials? Like,
thank you for getting
and
Rachel Maddow has the highest ratings of anybody ever, I think, in cable, certainly, on MSNBC. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Megyn Kelly got paid how much for crappy ratings and then they got fired. It's just, I just
also got to keep her entire contract after she got fired.
It's like Nikki Haley attacking Kamala Harris. There's how to place in hell for women that attack other women, other powerful women.
I agree.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, and by the way, if anyone could be jealous and catty about Rachel Maddow, it should be me.
Right.
I started with her, and I ended up in my basement, and she gets $30 for one show, and I don't care. I'm really proud of her, and I love her.
Point of order.
Yes, sir.
You went up against her in her time slot on radio and won.
Oh, well, that's a small consolation prize. I got to work in this magical, licky little colander in my basement while she makes $30 million.
You vanquished her to television.
Oh, my God.
I take total credit. I take total credit for her meteoric rise.
Chris every time I need a pep talk.
You what?
Don't call Chris.
Remind me to call Chris every time I need a pep talk.
He's fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, that's why you keep me around.
Yeah, that's how I've risen to the heights. I don't have yes men. I have no men. Dana.
Yes, dear.
We've been talking just about we played. I'm sure you saw that Colin Cowherd, he's like the Fox News sports guys, but just talking about how insane this is and how many apparently sad, lonely men there are in the country that are just losing it over Taylor Swift. And I'm like, is it triggering our high school stuff? Like, we can't all be the star quarterback or the homecoming queen. I don't know.
I think one of our listeners said this, just tweeted, it's jealousy. It's one of those things. None of these guys have a chance with Taylor Swift. Now this star football player has, and they're actually an adorable couple.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's
she's a billionaire with a B. She's not married. Right. She's everything they hate. She's an independent, powerful, strong woman.
Oh, but she's definitely after, Travis for that $70,000 bonus he's going to get for going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Right. You're right.
None of
Dana, that's a great point. None of the usual memes work. Oh, she's a gold digger. She's a whore. She's a this. It's just, it really is. I always say to Chris and Jody, we are in the stupidest timeline. It's just that all of these ridiculous conspiracy theories that she's a Pentagon psyop funded by Big Pharma because he's vaccinated, to get Joe Biden real. So they've rigged the NFL's rigged the Super Bowl to get Joe Biden. I'm like,
rabbit
what?
Hole.
Like my brain broke like halfway through the first round of these conspiracies.
Yeah, the rabbit hole they went down. And I saw something the other day, like Taylor Swift just going to the games and having any sort of airtime has actually generated something like 300 plus million for the NFL just based on new people watching football. They're not good. Like, no one's going to say no to that.
She is her own economy.
Yes. She's a larger economy than most countries.
And some states.
But Chris sort of echoed the same concern that really Taylor Swift's dad did in that documentary. Not just, it'll hurt your career to be political, but for her safety. Because this environment we're in is terrifying. For any Trump critics, but for women. We just did the story. Fani Willis they had to send a body double out dressed like Fani Willis, when she had when the indictment came down, when she had very serious death threats. 80-year-old E. Jean Carroll needs security. I mean, how many judges and prosecutors have been swatted? I mean, it is
That's
really
the serious part of all of this is Taylor's already had stalkers, like a lot of them. And this is just, it really does get the right revved up where they think that they can take someone out, whether it's Taylor Swift or someone who works in an abortion clinic or someone who's running for office. And listen, the amount of death threats that are going toward politicians on both sides of the aisle is absurd, but it stems from Donald Trump. And him being able to say whatever he wants to say with impunity. It's just gross.
Chris, that's the good news about me just sort of aging out of relevance, is it does really cut down on the amount of stalkers that just have the interest or energy and,
Just don't show your feet again. On camera.
And you're pretty easy to stalk. You work out of your basement.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, if it was going to happen, stuff, it would have happened by now.
Everyone's too lazy to stalk me now. They're just like, I don't know. We're all old.
They also know
we're
you're
all
very
old now.
fast
Who
on a
cares?
bicycle. No one wants someone who can ride a bike 40 miles.
Right.
They'll never be able to catch you.
But, on the not so funny, everybody's talking about this story. We're having my best friend Wanda on, who's a brilliant psychologist, on Monday. Just, George Conway was saying, I think, like, we are, more than anything else, like, gripped by mental illness in this country. I mean, it's just all of these conspiracy theories and violence and, this man detained over beheading of his own father as police probe his anti-Biden rant. The Sun reportedly raged about the president, far-left woke mobs, and the LGBTQ community in a gruesome and disturbing online video. The decapitated body of his father was discovered in the bathroom in their home in Pennsylvania. He apparently, used his father's severed head in a video. The footage he claimed his father was a longtime federal employee, quote, who is now in hell for eternity as a traitor to his country, and ranted about President Biden, far-left woke mobs, gay people, blah, blah, blah. I mean, again, Dana, these are every Fox News talking point, every, right winger, it's just like the Buffalo shooters manifesto could be an Elise Stefanik speech. I'm sorry. There is it is so largely skewed to right wing the stuff that I'm sorry. I'm not just being political. This stuff,
Absolutely.
I mean, this violence, is obviously the FBI has noted this, right?
Yeah, and what bothers me is there's been complaints about this guy, and I think they've been watching him since 2017. I just don't understand how things haven't happened between now and then that would have been a red flag enough to get this guy off the streets in some way. I mean, it's a horrifying story, but yes, it is. The mental illness issue in this country needs to be addressed and needs to be funded.
And the mainstream media lets Fox News and these right-wing whack outlets get away with spinning this every time. They're saying, oh, no, he was a left-winger because he talked about student loans. He quite clearly, I mean, it couldn't be much more obviously a right-wing lunatic, but they don't take any responsibility even when it happens. Whether it's the shooter at Mother Emanuel or, the supermarket that I grew up with in Buffalo. It's just, it's these complete racist memes, replacement theory. I mean, they could, like I say, be on any Fox News host rant or some Republican politician's speeches.
Absolutely,
I mean, including Trump, of course.
Yep, but let's go after Taylor Swift instead of changing gun laws. Let's go after Taylor Swift instead of working, fixing the mental health issue in this country. It's absurd.
Yeah.
All of it. We've seen it also on the left. We know exactly what they're doing. We know their playbook. I'm surprised is there a caravan coming? I think there is, right? Because we've been talking about the borders.
It's an emergency. It's an emergency and an invasion, but it can wait until.
Yes.
Yeah, Donald Trump
until November, and actually January of next year. Let's not even do it in November.
Yeah. This headline: Texas Attorney General targets Georgia clinic in another attempt to obtain private medical records of transgender youth.
Yeah.
I just, the stuff they spend their time doing is just, in another attempt to obtain the private medical records of transgender youth. I don't even understand this. Why is why isn't he in jail? Okay, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is requesting the records of Texan minors from a Georgia-based telehealth clinic. The clinic's founder says the clinic's providing hormone therapy and other services for transgender and non-binary people, requesting the medical records of minors who receive care from the clinic, including information protected by health privacy laws. That would be my first question. It's like, did those laws go away somehow? Or, I mean...
I don't understand how he can do this across state lines. And he tried to do it at a place in Seattle, and they sued him.
Yeah.
Right.
And I hope that every clinic does that if they reaching out. It is absurd.
Yeah.
It's unconstitutional. I hope that he gets his. Oh, I got to remember I'm on Stephanie Miller. I hope he gets his butt sued.
Thank you.
You can say ass.
You can say ass.
Yeah.
I can say ass.
Oh.
I never know what I can say.
Yeah, you can say ass. You
Okay,
can even
let's
say it a
stop
couple of
repeating
times.
Story. I got my shirt on.
Michael in the Bronx, you're on with Dana. Hey, Mike. Hi, Michael.
Hello, sexy LeBron. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm a little under the weather. I'm so sorry.
Dear. Okay.
Yeah, that's the roller coaster weather for you.
Yeah.
But in defense of Taylor Swift and President Biden, the right-wingers want to say that they're bringing politics to football and trying to rig the games. Definitely farther from the truth. Any politics into football, that was done like about 5 or 6 years ago by Trump himself, when he made the issue of people taking a knee during the national anthem. And then when somebody like Colin Kaepernick was asked about the purpose of taking a knee, he says to acknowledge and recognize the injustices that's been going on in this nation, including the racism.
Yeah.
And that's when Trump blew up and said...
Yep, absolutely. All right, Michael, you need to take a lozenge. I feel bad.
Have
Just
a
stop
Sucrets.
talking. Stop talking and take a lozenge. Yeah, JoJo from Jersey was saying, it's just that we have all these fantasies for the Super Bowl. She was like, fill like a luxury box with like every woman that the right wing hates. It's like Hillary, Pelosi, Taylor Swift, Bonnie Willis, and Letitia James.
I don't know who they're going to cheer for.
And they all take a knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who they're going to cheer for. All these memes about, like, I just want to see Taylor Swift performing with Colin Kaepernick while drinking a Bud Light, wearing in a Target shirt.
With drag queens.
It's absurd.
With drag queens.
With a drag queen.
Lots of gays.
Yeah.